Right, listen up, because this is a story about espionage. We're talking about Mossad, Israel's intelligence agency. They're like the quiet kid in the back of the classroom, the one you never notice until they do something astonishing. Mossad's job is to protect Israel, and they're very good at it. They gather intel, they neutralize threats, and sometimes they pull off operations so daring you wouldn't believe it if it weren't true. One such operation was Operation Diamond. This was a heist, a proper cloak and dagger affair, all to get their hands on something very special, a Soviet-made MiG-21 fighter jet. Picture this, 1966, the Cold War is raging, the Middle East is a powder keg, Israel, surrounded by hostile neighbors, needs every edge it can get. Enter the MiG-21, the hottest fighter jet in the Soviet arsenal. Fast, agile, deadly. The Egyptians have them, the Syrians have them, Israel, not a chance. The MiG-21 was a game changer. Israel needed to know its secrets. How did it perform? What were its weaknesses? They needed to get their hands on one, but how? That's where Operation Diamond comes in. Mossad hatched a plan, audacious and risky, to convince an Iraqi pilot to defect, bringing his MiG-21 with him. The MiG-21 was a very big deal. It was the most advanced fighter jet of its time. And it was being used by many countries that were, shall we say, not very friendly towards Israel. For Israel, getting hold of a MiG-21 wasn't just about adding a shiny new toy to their collection, it was about survival. Imagine trying to fight a car like a Ferrari when all you've got is a beaten-up old Mini. That's what it was like for Israeli pilots facing off against MiG-21s. They needed to know the enemy, inside and out. They needed to train against it, to exploit its weaknesses. The MiG-21 was the key, and Mossad was going to get it. Section 4. The Defection, a calculated gamble. Mossad identified their target, an Iraqi Christian named Munir Redfa. He was a pilot, disillusioned with the Iraqi regime. This was their in. They made contact with Redfa, offering him a new life in Israel for him and his family. But could they convince him to betray his country? Could they guarantee his safety? Redfa wasn't an idiot. He knew the risks. He'd be branded a traitor, hunted by the Iraqis. But Mossad played their hand masterfully. They appealed to his sense of justice, his desire for a better life. They promised him safety, a new identity, a future for his children. It was a gamble, but one they had to take. Section 5. Challenges and Triumphs. The Flight to Freedom. Getting Redfa out was no walk in the park. They couldn't just stroll into Iraq and whisk him away. This was a clandestine operation, every step planned with meticulous detail. False identities, secret communications, everything had to be perfect. One wrong move, and it was all over. On August 16, 1966, Redfa made his move. He took off in his MiG-21, ostensibly on a training mission. But instead of sticking to the script, he turned south, towards Israel. The Israelis scrambled jets to intercept him, not as enemies, but as escorts. Redfa landed his MiG-21 safely at an Israeli airbase, his defection a success. Section 6. Impact and Legacy, a turning point. Operation Diamond was a major coup for Israel. With the MiG-21 in their hands, they could finally study their adversary's weapon. They could train their pilots, develop counter-tactics. The playing field was leveled. The defection of Munir Redfa sent shockwaves through the Arab world. It was a propaganda victory for Israel, and a blow to the prestige of the Soviet Union. More importantly, it gave Israel a crucial advantage in the skies, an advantage that would prove decisive in future conflicts. Operation Diamond was a testament to Mossad's cunning, a high-stakes gamble that paid off handsomely, and a reminder that in the world of espionage, sometimes truth really is stranger than fiction.